Couple of guys. We have almost everybody we're hoping to get, and we thank Doug Murphy from CBS for being here. Ric Thompson, let me bring you right up. A man who I think really idolized you, as we all did. And Ric, let me have you talk about this man over here to my left.
Well, starts out with myself. I guess around 1960, I first saw Ray Stevens on TV. And I had previously had a lot of wrestling stars where, I really liked Carpentier was one of my favorites, but the moment I saw Ray Stevens, and this is the absolute truth, I fell in love with the guy. He moved so well in the ring. He looked the charisma, the way he talked, he walked, and I started to emulate Ray Stevens from a kid. I can remember getting some relaxer and putting it in my hair and slicking it back and combing it the way that Ray Stevens combed his hair, and my mother said, "What are you doing?" And man, I got a spanking for that. But I grew up with him. I watched every match. I can remember mowing lawns and doing all kind of odd jobs to get money to go to the Cow Palace to watch him wrestle. And I get on that R bus and on East 14th, and I'll end up some kind of way at the Cow Palace. And me and some of my best friends, and we just Stevens was our idol. I had two idols. One was Muhammad Ali, and the other was Ray Stevens. And Stevens was really the first, and he still is today. And just the influence they had on me, and it was great. I had a great childhood, and I had a great idol, and hey, it was just a great way to grow up.
I wanted to thank you guys. Pacific Coast Sports, which you're the head trainer for, brought in one of those posters. Our Mr. Ron Host brought the second one, but there's a beautiful poster down here you guys brought, you and Roland, and you guys had a card, and we hope to get Ray involved with Pacific Coast Sports. You guys had a card last week, and Orinda, that
exactly.
The guys you've trained are just terrific, and these guys do a lot of bumps and things that reminds me of Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair, who have basically stolen this man's act. Of course, Ray invented all those things and was just unbelievable in the ring, like a human cannonball. You get some guys that do some of those, and I think it's a real tribute to Ray that they do some of those moves. Matt Hyson, I believe your son, Super
Exactly.
Diablo. Just, you mentioned that match, and we just happen to have pictures here that various people were courteous enough to send. I want to thank, besides all the local media, the Who's Who of 1985, which helped with our bio. We'll read that a little later. Also, wrestling title histories from Royal Duncan. Here is the match you talked about of Ray against Carpentier. This is from July of '64 in the Cow Palace. Ray, just unbelievable stuff. Let's put it on this camera.
Great.
And there's Carpentier doing his flip, but not to be outdone. He was known as a gymnastic wrestler, but
Exactly.
I think Ray could keep up with him and outshine him as well. And
the one thing I want to say about Ray, he was a great defensive wrestler, and it's sort of a cliche. He used to wait on for his opponent to make a mistake, capitalize off his mistake, and boom, the guy is on his back before he knows it. And that's the one thing I enjoyed about Ray Stevens. You can watch him and he's always going to lose, and then boom, right away, tables are turned and it lights out. And that was something that I really enjoyed watching, and I try to be defensive myself throughout life.
I'm going to read from that title history here.